Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to review a couple more episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho, episodes 57 and 58, I believe. And it's basically Hiei versus dude, I'm forgetting his name, in the armor. And it's pretty damn good. It's very much fucking Dragon Ball Z, but I'll get to that in a second. The episode starts off with Kurama, and he actually loses the match. And I was like, what the fuck is that about? But what ends up happening is they basically show that Kurama launched his last attack, but he actually didn't, like, get off of the ground when he launched it. And the chick was doing her count for 10 seconds. And the attack hit after it hit 10. So he lost. And that's fair. And it's a decent twist, even though he did kill the guy. They made a really big deal out of it. It wasn't really that big of a deal. Though it was funny when Yusuke went up to the chick and she was like, I would like it if you let go of me. And he's like, I'd like it if you took your head out of your ass. That was a really fucking great comeback. That was hilarious. But, they made a big deal out of it, and I don't really see why. I mean, Karasu's still dead. Kurama is alive. Yeah, you guys took the loss, but, I mean, all you gotta do is win your other matches. So, I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, I don't really see it as that big of a deal. I don't know. But the rest of the episode was pretty damn cool. After Kurama's called the loser, we get Hiei versus the one guy in the armor. And he's basically just like, it's kind of hilarious. He's just like taking his big axe and taking pieces of the tiles and just throwing them at Hiei. And he's dodging, and it's pretty cool. He starts using the fire moves. He's destroying the fucking tiles. What ends up happening is he destroys his axe. They have a cool clash. Then he makes another axe. He destroys that one. Then he takes off his armor, and it's this total classic shonen. You know, Dragon Ball did this with weighted clothing and everything. He takes off the armor, and of course he throws it, and it cracks the ground and sinks into the dirt and all that. And I like how his sleeves, I think the sleeves on his outfit are supposed to be like a reference to Namekian muscles, because he kind of has like the weird, I don't know what the color was, like pinkish red, but you know, the lines and like it had that shape and everything. So I think his outfit was supposed to kind of look like Namekian muscles, which was a cool little reference if that's what it was. Knowing Togashi, I'm sure it was. And then the whole episode goes fucking Dragon Ball Z, because he's like, this is my battle aura, and it's all green, and he's like, I can't control it, and he's like Broly and shit. I fucking hate Broly, but that's besides the point. He's floating in the air, shooting energy balls, and he is blocking with fireballs, and it's totally Dragon Ball Z. They're darting around in the air. Then he launches this attack that kind of looks like a shuriken, like a spinning star thing. Hiei dodges it and makes it hit him very much like when Goku made Frieza get hit by the Destructo Disc. Well, not the Destructo Disc, that's Krillin's, but it's like the same attack. Except he didn't get hit by it, he just, what did Frieza do? I think he just diverted it really quick, but he basically does that. And, yeah, then he says that attack was only going to be strong enough to destroy you, and it hit me and didn't even hurt. So obviously Hiei is in a bit of a disadvantage, but then he's like, I'm going to use the Dragon Flame. And that's where the episode ends. And it was pretty damn cool. I thought the dude looked cool without the armor on. He finally talked. He very much reminds me of a Fist of the North Star character for some reason. Just the really small eyes and the face shape and everything. And the way he's built buff. He looks like a Fist of the North Star character, and that's kind of fun. But yeah, it's a cool fight. It's a good follow-up fight to Kurama's, where it was mainly like stalling and then, you know, not in a bad way, but just like stalling and then kind of, you know, running around, dodging, and going for the attack, and strategy and everything like that. But Hiei's is more of just like a straightforward battle, which is very different and also, you know, really cool. Hopefully Hiei does not lose by technicality. That'd be really weird. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens, but definitely a cool fight so far. Can't wait to see what happens next. And, yeah. So, speaking of what happens next, let's see what happens next time on Dragon Ball Z, episode 58. Okay, you guys. So, episode 58. I love when series prove me right, and I'll talk about that in a second, but, yeah, I just love when series prove me right. So, the basic summary of this episode is, it's still a fucking epic Dragon Ball Z level fight. There's even a fucking dragon involved, obviously. And what ends up happening is Hiei, for fucking, like, for what feels like years, almost the entire first half of the episode, he's charging up the dragon, getting it ready, you know, fucking powering up, auras everywhere, crazy psychedelic effects and shit. And he ends up launching the dragon, and the dude's catching it, and it's like spiraling him around and throwing him around the arena, and he's holding the dragon by the head. And I think his name was Bui, by the way. Anyway, it's kind of a weird name, but just doesn't seem like to fit him, but whatever. What ends up happening is they fly through the air, part of the stadium gets destroyed, and, I mean, it was already partly destroyed, but you know, you can see the gaping holes even bigger. The ring is getting wrecked. What he ends up doing is he finally is able to reflect this thing, and all the while that he's holding it back, we get flashbacks of him fighting Toguro, and you know, he has that scar on his head and everything, which is kind of cool, shows how he got that. I wasn't sure if that was like makeup or what, but looks some kind of marking, but it's a scar. And, yeah, he ends up reflecting it, and it looks like Hiei got killed, but then he comes crashing down, and it looks really badass. Like, at first, when the fire's in the air, it's kind of weirdly drawn. It kind of looks like this weird, like, material wrapped around fire. It was kind of weird, but when he crashes down, the fire looks really cool and everything, and what ends up happening from there is Hiei basically just stomping him. You know, he's punching him around, he's catching his fist, dude can't do anything to him. What he ends up doing is slamming him into the stadium side area. They talk, he says, kill me, Hiei's like, no. He gets back in the ring, and Hiei wins. Pacing in this episode, rather slow, not gonna lie. Story progression, the fight's over, that's good. So pretty damn good story progression. The animation, this is what I was talking about when I said, you know, proving me right. I've said this a couple times, I believe, at least once I've said this, that it's not all about good animation, it's about how you execute it. And this is a perfect example of great animation, poorly executed. For almost the first half of the episode, the animation is incredible. It looks fucking beautiful. Everything's moving fluidly. It almost looks like an old school anime movie to a certain extent. But nothing's happening, and they're just charging and breaking rocks around them and talking, and it's just, it's not boring, it looks cool, but it's just, why have amazing animation if you're not going to do anything with it? It's about execution. Just because your animation's great, you have to know when to use it, how to set up the scene, and all that stuff. Even when he's holding back the dragon and being slammed around, it looks kind of awkward. It's just the way the dragon is moving, and the way it's really close up on him, and you can't even tell where he is sometimes. It's just, I don't know. It was awkward to me. It was still cool, you know, it was still cool in concept, and it looked cool, like, overall. And then once Hiei ends up absorbing the dragon again, and even before he absorbed the dragon, I don't know who the artist is who does this animation, but he makes the characters look way too silly. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, some of these shots of the limbs and the faces just look so fucking awkward and comical. And I don't even know. There was this weird shot where they looked super noodly. I'll try to find the image to put in. If I don't find it, or if I'm too lazy, you won't see it. But it was just crazy. Like, it takes you out of it. Like, I've seen some weak artwork in, like, One Piece and stuff, like Toei Animation. Like, they have this one guy, or at least this team of animators, who kind of don't really care about the artwork. They kind of just focus on making the animation look really good. But even those guys, or that guy, don't make it look this fucking rubbery and rounded and just, I don't know. I don't really know. It's just, it's really good animation with poor artwork, which can work, but it's just the scenes are set up kind of awkwardly, and I don't know. The animation to me was a big problem, but it was also really cool. A lot of shots looked really nice, and, you know, him throwing Hiei around and slamming him into the ceiling and all that. That was cool. Just wish it could have been animated better or just drawn better. But yeah, didn't hate it. I thought it was overall a pretty good episode. I don't think I rated the last episode. Again, that's twice in a row I don't think I gave ratings for the fucking episodes, but whatever. I'm thinking about a rating right now in my head. I'd probably set this episode around like an 8 out of 10, a very good episode, kind of. Maybe just a good episode. No, I'd say very good, because the fighting was there, and it was still cool. just kind of artwork just kind of took me out of it. I'd still say it's a very good episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. I would be like, if the animation was more consistent at least, or something, I would probably be like fucking freaking out about this episode, because it was really fucking cool. I mean, he's being smashed around and shit and slams up into this big fucking boulder mountain thing, and all that shit's intense and badass and brings out the 10-year-old in all of us, but the artwork did take me out of it. But I spent enough time talking about the artwork and all that. Overall, I'll probably set this episode around an 8 out of 10, a very good episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. The last episode, since I'm pretty sure I didn't rate it in the episode, in the review, I'd probably give that a good episode. Well, I'd probably give that one a very good also. 2 very goods in a row, 8 out of 10 for both episodes. And, yeah. So, that's pretty much all I have to say, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, anyways, thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.